thought I was done with the burnt timber from 2020 fires, but I'm not. So right now I'm doing danger trees. All this stuff is burnt to a crisp, so I gotta take a 200-foot swath off this side and both sides of the road. And then I got power lines above me. I already did that side, which was pretty sketchy with that high bank working above that, and rocky because the fire burnt all the duff, and it's hard to explain, but it like burnt the dirt. You're just walking on rock all day. It's not fun. So, but this stuff is BLM land, and they won't log this. They're too afraid of being sued by their environmentalists. And so this stuff is 3 years, going on 3 years old, and it's really not any good, especially the hemlock. I'll cut the hemlock. None of this stuff will save out, no matter what I do. It's they just let it go too long. The tree farm that I'm working for here has been trying to buy the timber from the BLM, and they've been dragging their feet, say maybe they don't want to sell it, but here's our country and $31 trillion of debt, and they could make some money off this timber, and they won't sell it. That makes total sense. So we'll just pay all the Forest Service employees and BLM employees off the taxpayers, I guess. So anyways, probably don't have to explain to you guys, none of the government makes sense. So here I am cutting this by the hour. This was a beautiful stand before it burnt. Probably, if they sell it, sell it to the tree farm here, we could probably get some money out of it. But I think if they let it go sitting in these piles, I don't know, a couple more months is probably not even going to be good for, not even pulp mills don't like this stuff either. Just sad to see something go to waste. So I'm just taking this front strip off above the road right now, and then I'll come from down below and get that other stuff. This one has a root wad stuck to her, but that fire created like a firestorm in this area, and let me swing around here in a second. But down there below the road, kind of where my pickup is down there, it was like a tornado went through there below the tree line here where my head is. You can kind of hopefully see all that stuff that's blown over, but it was like created its own windstorm and like a tornado, and just blew that stuff over. So that was not fun going through there playing pickup sticks just to get a few trees that were standing for danger trees. Oh, limbs. I like them. Limbs are like petrified wood, will not break off. through the trees. I've been doing this for 3 days now. The last section I did had some big trees, like 4 and 5 footers in it. I actually beavered quite a few down of those big ones, and they finally told me just to leave them for the hand cutters. And so I had to make sure when I was out there cutting to not brush the cutters out. That's pretty much number one rule when you're running buncher, is do not brush the cutters out. They're the ones that are on the ground working hard. Don't need to make their job any harder by having them cut a trail to a tree. But I probably have 1 more mile, I think, kind of below the road and above the road, but I think that next section I'm just going to cut above the road and reach from what I can get from the road below me and fall it across the trees so I don't brush the cutters out. But it's just too steep where if I go down there and fall the trees and the timber, and there's just no good place for me to like do it without brushing them out. So I'll just reach over the bank and get what I can, so I'm not making it hard on those guys, and let them just do it. They'll go to the bottom, work their way out. This stuff's breaking. It's not even, I don't even know if the mills would accept this hemlock right now. They will not accept it if it has burnt fiber. The bark's okay if it's burnt, but not the actual wood or the sap wood in the tree. So when you're processing, it's kind of a nightmare processing on the burn, because that's a no-pay log. It could have the size of an apple that's burnt into the wood, and they will reject that log. I'm sure they still make boards out of it, but we don't get paid for it. So pretty critical that processor's doing the best he can for quality and watching those trees. Trying to put these in piles just in case they do sell it. We come back and process it. At least they'll have some kind of piles to process out of. Trying to stay on the side of the road here so I don't mess up that road with my grousers. There is a side above me. My buddy Nick's up there logging. They got like 2 days left, so try to keep the road nice for them. Cut this one a little higher so I can lay logs against it like a stake. nice all week. It's supposed to be nice next week, dry and cold, but someone said now they're calling for snow, and we're pretty high up here. Oh, we're over 3,000 feet where we're at right now, so hopefully they're wrong. Bust all the hell. The stuff's so dry and brittle. Good firewood. Now the fir lasts a lot longer than the hemlock, so I'm pretty sure those mills would take this fir for a little bit longer, as long as they don't have burnt fiber. This will be the last one I put in this pile. Start a new pile up there where I cut that high stump. Telling how tall these trees are and judging the power lines above me, so I do not want to find out what happens when you hit one of those power lines. They are the big ones that run for miles and miles. I'm sure it'd be a fireworks show. And expensive. Roll down the hill on the guy that's processing now. Exciting doubles when you're trying to cut next to a power line. So as of right now, just cutting and decking. Getting paid to deck logs. Kind of weird. I bet there's over 200 log truck loads decked along the road that could be processed and shipped. unlovable when I got to reach below me. I wasn't tipping over like some people think. Tell you one thing, this stuff sure hard on your chains. All that charcoal. 3 chains a day just because the bark is burnt. It just drives me nuts.